So the shir is about the word about Techiyas Hameisim. So back nowadays, every generation has their own challenges and their nisyonis. In the times of the Gemara and the times of the Goinim and the Rishonim, the big nisayon they had was, is Techiyas Hameisim really true? Is it literal? So it starts in the Gemara. The Gemara used to have a lot in the Gemara in Sanhedrin Pekach Chelik. The Gemara challenges a lot. How do you know where Techiyas? A lot of Apikoros started challenging. How do you know Techiyas Hameisim is from the Torah? Where do you know it from? So we'll start with the first Maramakim, the Mishnah Sanhedrin. The Mishnah says, "Ve'elu she'ein lehem chelik al ilam haba." The Mishnah lists people who don't have a chelik in ilam haba. One of them is ha'omer she'ein Techiyas Hameisim min ha'Torah. Someone who says that Techiyas Hameisim is not true, is not from the Torah. It doesn't say it in the Torah. Rashi explains that it doesn't just mean someone who doesn't believe in Techiyas Hameisim. Even someone who believes in Techiyas Hameisim, but he says it doesn't say it in the Torah, he also doesn't have a chelik in Eilam Haba. That's Rashi in the first Maramakim. Rashi says, "Va'afilu yehei moide u'maimin sheyichyu Hameisim." Even if this person believes that people will come back to life, elo deloida miza beiraisa, but he says that it doesn't say it in the Torah. The Torah doesn't talk about Techiyas Hameisim. Kaifer hu. He's a kaifer. Why? Hayil ba'eker sheyesh Techiyas. A kaifer, a heretic. Since he's saying that the Torah doesn't talk about Techiyas Hameisim, what good is his emunah? What does he believe it from? It's his own Techiyas Hameisim. It's not the Techiyas Hameisim the Torah says. How does he know Techiyas Hameisim is real? He's a real kaifer because he doesn't, that emunah, because he doesn't believe in Techiyas Hameisim, because that's what it says in the Torah, it's not a emunah. So that's a very important, interesting Rashi. So now the actual Taka, where does it say talk about Techiyas Hameisim in the Torah? So the Gemara of there's a few blots of Gemara in Hachelik where it brings a few different limutim. So he brought a few of them here. The second Maramakim, the Gemara says in Sanhedrin, Shalu minin es Rabbi Gamliel. The Epikurean, they asked Rabbi Gamliel, Minayin Sha'Kadosh Baruch Hu Mechayim Hameisim. How do we know that the Eibusher is going to bring people back to life? It says, Amar Lahem min HaTorah min HaNevim min HaKsuvim. What the Raya is from the Torah and Nevim and Ksuvim, v'lei kiblu minor. They kept arguing. They upshlugged them. They weren't mekabel it. Amar Lahem mikra zeh, until you told them this pasuk. Asher nishba Hashem laviseichem laseis lahem. The Eibusher will give you the land which He promised your fathers to give to them. Lachem le'nemar. It doesn't say He's going to give it to you. Lahem, it says which He swore to give to your fathers. Mikan l'Techiyas Hameisim in Torah. This is how you know there's Techiyas Hameisim, because the Eibusher never gave the land of Eretz Yisrael to the Aves. The Aves were never there, so it must be the Eibusher He promised to give it to them. So there must be a time where they're going to come back to life, and the Eibusher will give it to them. This is one limit you have in the Torah. And the third Maramakim, we bring another. This limit is more well known from Az Yashir. The Gemara says, Omar Tanya, Omar Rabbi Meir, Minayin Techiyas Hameisim in Torah. How do you know Techiyas Hameisim? Shneimar Az Yashir Moshe v'nei Yisrael Sashira Zeis LaHashem. It says then Bnei Yisrael Moshe sang the song. But Sharlei Nemar, it doesn't say sing. Ela Yashir, it says they will sing. Az Yashir, then they will sing. Why is it worded like that? Mikan Techiyas Hameisim in Torah. Here you learn out that there's going to be another song that we're going to sing Lasilavi. Yeah. You're not convinced. There's another limb of the Gemara.
I do.
There's another limb of the Gemara brings from about Truma. So that when the Eibusher says about giving Truma to the Kohen, it says v'nosno la'arin ha'kohen. It says what would he do with the Truma? You should give it to Aaron ha'kohen. It says but Aaron ha'kohen didn't come to Eretz Yisrael. Yeah, Aaron ha'kohen didn't come to Eretz Yisrael. We never gave him the Truma. So when is it going to happen? Must be Lasilavai. He's going to come back, and we're going to give it to him. So now there's a cute story in the Gemara, in the fourth Maramakim, the Gviva ben Sisa. He got into an argument with a.
Are we still in Sanhedrin?
Yeah, still in Sanhedrin. This Machleka, he had an argument.
Nobody learns, by the way.
Gviva ben Sisa had an argument with a certain kaifer. So let's see the Gemara. It's a Geshmaka story. You don't want to miss out on it. Amar lehahu mina la Gviva ben Sisa. A certain heretic said to Gvia ben Sisa, Vailachain chayvi, oy to you, sinner, Damishun misi chayin, because you say that dead people will come back to life. You're a sinner. How could you say such a thing? Why? What's the problem? The chayin misi, people who already lived in this world, people who are alive now, even they die. The misi chayin, people that already died, you're going to tell me they come back to life? Even people who are alive can't stay alive. They eventually die. Now you're going to tell me that even dead people are going to come back to life. So this is his argument. So he answered him back. Gvia ben Sisa told him, Amarle vailechin chayvi, oy to you, Rasha. You're the sinner. Damrisun misi loy chayin, that you say dead people won't come back to life. Why? The loy havel chayi, people who never existed before could come back into life, could come into existence and live. The have chayi loy kolshkein, people who have lived before, like kolshkein, that they could come back to life. So he says, he gave a better argument. So this heretic got very offended that he called him a sinner, and he told him, Amar Ali, you have to also, by the way, Gvia ben Sisa, he was a hunchback. He was a hunchback. So now, this is one of the stories. Amar Ali, chayvi karisli, you call me a sinner. Ika imno, if you say it again, but itna b'cha, I will kick you. And I'll straighten out your hunchback. I'll kick you so hard. So, also read the next line. If you do that, I will call you a professional doctor, and I will pay you well. So this was the argument. So you would think after all those Vlada Gemara, all the arguments, all the rayas, they finally got over the Nesaya, they finally got over the Shailas of Emunah in Techiyas Hameisim. But L'Payil, you read Sadia Goyin, he wrote a sefer, Emunah's V'Deis, which he explains different things in Yanim and Emunah. There's also a letter from the Rambam, Megeres Techiyas Hameisim, which also you see that even times of the Goyinim, the Rishonim, people were still having Sveikus in Techiyas Hameisim. What were they arguing about? Why? What was bothering them? So the Rambam in a lot of the Rishonim understood that Eilam Haba is Eilam Hanashamis. When we talk about Eilam Haba after Hameisim Moshiach, is going to be the world to come. They understood it's not a physical world. It's the Schar for our mitzvahs, and it's a world of Neshamis. And right, they begin the Gemara. The Gemara says that Eilam Haba, there's no achilo, leishtia. We're not going to eat. We're not going to drink. We're not going to have children. So they understood that must be there's no body. We don't have bodies up there. The Ramban argues, and that's the Mekubalim and the Rabbeim go with the Ramban that there is Ramban that Eilam Haba is neshamis in a body. But according to these people, understood that it's neshamis out of a body. So they understood. What's the point of Techiyas Hameisim? Saying the whole world. If you tell me we're going to be in this world, so I understand we're going to come back into this world to get our reward. But if it's Eilam Haba, Eilam Hanashamis, what's the point of coming back down here? And so therefore they came up with all different biurim, saying that all these psukim which talk about Techiyas Hameisim isn't kipshuti. It's a mashal. And then something else. It's not literal. And they built up a whole case.
They being
I don't know their names, but these heretics who didn't believe in Techiyas Hameisim, the times of the Sadia Goyin and the Rambam. And so the question is, if according to them, what is the point of Techiyas Hameisim? If it's going to be, so according to them, Techiyas Hameisim is going to be, according to the Rambam, is during Hameisim Moshiach. So what is the point of it? So Sadia Goyin mentions in the Sefer that the point of Techiyas Hameisim is because that all the tzaddikim, all the great people will be able to see the Yeshua, the Geula that will finally come. That there's going to, after all these generations in Golus and all the hardships we have, finally when the Geula comes and we will be at peace, everything will be fine. So then the Eibush shall bring all the past leaders back to life. That everyone should be there to witness this and see this. And then afterwards we will go to the final reward in Eilam Haba.
The shamas of all these people, or in the guf?
According to them, the neshamas. According to the way the Rambam understands. So that's the reason why there is Techiyas Hameisim, even according to them, right? Even though the ultimate schar will be in Eilam Haba. And so now one of the arguments they bring up, so the Rambam was writing the Rambam in the letter Geras Techiyas Hameisim, he needed to defend himself because a lot of people use the Sefer Hayad of the Rambam to prove that there is no Techiyas Hameisim. How so? Because when the Rambam writes that when Melech Hamshiach comes, the world is going to function normally, everything is going to run properly, there aren't going to be miraculous things. He says Mashiach doesn't need to do miracles and wonders, and he doesn't need to bring people back to life. He doesn't need to do Techiyas Hameisim when he comes. This is it's Eilu Kivin Hagit yet.
He's saying to prove that he's
To-
Moshiach,
what the
he
Rambam-
doesn't have to do that.
What the Rambam meant was to prove that he's Moshiach, but everyone else jumped on those words and said, "You see, the Rambam wrote that there is no Techiyas Hameisim when Moshiach comes." So obviously, it's not literal. It's just like the Rambam says that V'garza even keves that the sheep and the wolves will live peacefully as a mashal. So this is some sort of mashal, some sort of parable. So, but the Rambam says he says that obviously that clearly that was not what he meant. He was just trying to bring out that that's not what proves Mashiach. That's not what the definition of what Mashiach is. It is true, it will happen, but that's not what Mashiach is about. It's not about Techiyas Hameisim. So that's one point. So we'll go into some more of the arguments that these people wanted to make. Right? You have some clear psukim which talk about Techiyas Hameisim. What are they going to do about it? You have there's in Nach there's a lot of psukim. You have Yikitzu v'ranenu sheichni afer. The people who lie in the dust and the dirt will awaken and they will sing. And you also have Yichyu Meisecha Bilti Yukumun, that the dead ones will live. They'll come back to life for not being able to stand up. So what are they going to deal with this? So Sadi are going to bring some of their explanations they try to say for it. What do they say? So they say that sometimes bringing someone up from a very low state you could describe that as bringing someone up from the dirt, right? Like Mikimi mi afradol. You pick me up from the dirt. So they say this, who says something about dead people? Maybe it just means that the Yidden who are in a very low state, they'll be uplifted to a much higher level. So that's in the fifth Maramakim. Maybe they're going to try to say other explanations. Until they say it's not talking about Techiyas Hameisim. Because we find in the Torah that uplifting someone who was on a very low state, that to a very high, from low to a very high state, similar to lifting someone up from the dirt. It says in Tehillim, he stood me up from the dirt. And so that, and another, they go on further. And you can also say that when the pasuk says Yichyu Meisecha, that the dead people will live, sometimes people who are in a very bad state and they're going through a lot of hardships, they are compared to a dead person. Like it says in Tehillim, Hameisim Chavshi, Kamei Sheichni Kever V'Geimer. You have the. And so he brings the Psukim aren't talking about. They're not talking about dead, about people who are dead, but it compares them to that. I was forgotten like a dead person from people's hearts. So he wasn't dead, but it compares him to a dead person. And you compare that being saved from these hardships he's going through to like being brought back to life. This that we saw these bad tzaris and these bad things. Tashav Techayenu, you'll bring us back and you'll reliven us.
That's what it means.
That's what they want to try to argue. That's what they want to try to say.
Like these heretics?
Mm-hmm.
Why should we care what heretics? Heretics.
So we're saying we have to. This is we have to. I'm saying it's an Indian and Torah. So from the we have to understand how these psukim have to mean these things. So Sadi Again, he says, Sadi Again, the Rambam, they both bring out that you can't, psukim and Torah are kipshuta. You don't take things out of context. Sadi Again writes, he gives 4 examples where you always take everything kipshuta except for four instances. One is if it's clearly impossible to be true. Like one is, it says, Chava. It's not on the sheet, this one. It says about Vikra Adam Shem Ishtay. Adam called his wife Chava. Why? Ki hi haisa ein kol chai. She was the mother of all life.
Thank you.
It's the mother of all life. I'm saying we know cows and horses are born from Chava, right? So obviously you have to say life doesn't mean all life. It means human life. She gave them names, but again, so you mean either means human life or she gave them names. Obviously, so this is one example where it's clearly that's not what the pasuk is telling you, because you know black and white that's not what it is. That's one example. He says Oisha seichel teicha isa. He says, or intellectually it's impossible to understand. For example, it says Ki Hashem lekecha ish eichluhu. It says Hashem is a devouring flame. Well, how could he say is Hashem really a fire? Is Hashem really a fire? Is that what he is? Can't say he's a fire. A fire gets extinguished. You can't say Hashem is a simple flame. So obviously, it means that Hashem has similar characteristics that he has. That he has a vengeance. He has when he gets upset. He has similar attributes to a fire. It doesn't mean kipshuti. A third example he gives is if you have a contradiction. One pasuk says one thing, one pasuk says another thing. So obviously you have to interpret it differently. And a fourth example he gives where we say something's not literally. If we have a Masorah, we have a Masorah passed down from Moshe Rabbeinu Tersha Bal Peh that tells us that the meaning is differently. So these are the four ways that we say things aren't literal, but otherwise we take everything kipshutai, and obviously all these psukim of Techiyas Hameisim are kipshutai, especially being that we have a Masorah and Teirah Shabbat Peh that it is all kipshutai. So this is all. So this is part of the arguments. So now we'll go on to some. So he brings up some Sadia Go'in, brings up some other interesting questions that people might have. Why people might have a hard time believing in Techiyas Hameisim. So he lists a whole bunch of different things, and we'll jump to the eighth Maramakim. He says people might ask. Let's say he gets very technical. He asks a lot like all these questions that you expect a sixth grader to ask in class when you teach them about Techiyas Hameisim. He says, let's say someone was eaten by a lion. And that lion got eaten by another animal, by a fish, and then that animal died and went back to the dirt. So how's the Eibusher going to bring it back to life?
Which one, the lion or the...
Right, so that's his question. When you bury someone in the ground, so his body decomposed. Fine. So the person's body is made out of Eish, Ruach, Mayim, Afer, the four elements. So the Eibusher saves them. He has them over there. But when the person gets eaten by the animal, so where's the Eibusher going to make him from? So this is the question he says you might ask. So he says no. He says that a person, just like a person can't create something from nothing, a person can't make something into nothing. He can't destroy anything. Even if something gets eaten by another being, it doesn't get destroyed. Oh, so we're gonna see there's two different midrashim how Techiyas Hameisim happens. Is it from the rekev, is it from the dirt, or is it from the luzvan? He's understanding that the Eibusher takes all the elements, the rekev, the body, all the dirt that decompose, and he's gonna put it all back together. So he explains why do people need to eat. So he says we see the Rambam also explains it in the beginning of the Sefer Hayad that everything is made out of the four elements, and eventually it decomposes. Everything leaves. You leave food out. It starts, it rots, it spoils, and it's not going to stay there for too long. So too by people. People we're also made out of Eish, Ruach, Mayim, Afer, and eventually the elements start to leave us. So at one point, therefore, why do we? So we need to eat. So we eat in order to replenish those elements that are leaving. So therefore, instead of our elements leaving, that food, the element from those food, is what gets used up and leaves our body. And the Eish, Ruach, and Mayim leave, and the only thing that's left is the Afer, which that's the psailus, and that's what comes out. That's how he explains. So therefore, he says that the yasedes, the elements of the person's body, never get destroyed. Even if it gets eaten by another animal, these elements eventually will leave the animal, but the elements of that person is always there, and the Eibusher puts it aside and saves it for Techiyas Hameisim, when then he will be brought back to life. So that's an interesting piece, a question he answers. And so he brought up the question: how is Techiyas Hameisim going to be? Is it from the luzbon or is it from or is it from the dirt of the person? So there's different midrashim which talk about it. There's a pirkei in the pirkei the Rabbi Eliezer. Over there it says that it's going to be from the dirt where the person rotted. The Eibusher is going to take that from that soil, and the Eibusher is going to bring him back to life. Yeah, from where he is buried. In the 9th Amar Malkin, Pirkei Rabbi Eliezer writes, Rabbi Shimon Eimer, Kol hagufis noigin ba'afar haaretz. All the bodies they touch, they go into the ground. Ad she'enim mishtayir min haguf, elakim loy tarvid rekev. Until there's nothing left from it except for a tarvid, a shear of rotted soil, a certain shear. V'hu mis'arev ba'afar haaretz, and it gets mixed into the dirt. Kisa'ir, like shehu mis'arev be'isa, just like yeast which gets mixed into a dough. And Lasid Lavi, when the Eibusher will call to the land, Sheyitin Pikadin, that it should give back this thing, the body which he entrusted with it. Kol hagufis hahu, all those bodies shemisarib ba'afar haaretz kisar, which got mixed into the dirt like yeast. Shehu misarib be'isa, which would like yeast just mixing into the dough. Miyape umarbe will come better and will be increased to mala as kol haguf. And eventually the earth will bring back up those bodies without any blemishes on it. So this is so you see from this picture, Rabbi Eliezer. I think it means that not any new blemishes. The fact that he was buried isn't going to cause him any blemishes. So that's one medrash. Picture Rabbi Eliezer. In the medrash Rabbo, over there it talks about the luzbon. It says. Adrianus shachik atzamis. Adrianus, he was called the grinder of bones. I'm not sure what type of parnasa he had. Shol es Rabbi Yeshua ben Chananya. He asked Rabbi Yeshua ben Chananya, Amar loi mehechna kadosh baruch hu meitzitz es ha'adam lasid lavi. Where does the Eibusher bring back the person when lasid lavi by Techiyas Hameisim? Amar loi miluz shel shidra, from the luz bone of the spine. Amar loi minayin atiyadeh. Where do you know this? Amar lei asise liyadi fa'ana medialach. Bring me a loose bone and I will demonstrate it to you. So he brought it. Tachanu berechayim. They grinded it with a grinder. V'lei nitchan, it didn't get grinded. Sarfu be'eish. They burned it in the fire. V'lei nitzraf, it didn't get burnt. Nasnu b'mayim. They put it in water. V'lei nimcha, it didn't dissolve. Nasnu al sadon. They put it on a metal plate. V'heschil makeh olav b'patan. Started whacking it with a hammer. Nechlak hasadin. The metal plate split, broke. V'nivka hapatish. The hammer broke. V'lei chasar klum. And nothing happened to the luzbon.